look, to say cryptocurrency can lose you a lot of money and can be addictive, watching the ups and downs, that's no different to any sort of trading, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a probably pretty extreme form of trading, really. I mean, the thing is that with cryptocurrency, because the price movements are so large in both directions and so quick, that it is kind of more like gambling than it is like investment. So I think it is probably a bit different. I'm not sure whether I'd entirely categorize it as gambling, but it's definitely got some aspects to it of gambling, which, you know, a normal investment wouldn't have, because of the huge volatility in the actual price, which means that actually, you know, a lot of people are potentially going to lose money when they invest in it.
So as far as you're concerned, it's a bad investment, any form of it, and you would advise people to steer clear? Or are there some types of crypto that are more stable than others, as somebody who knows very little about cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, I mean, there are types that are more stable. I mean, I wouldn't, I don't think that kind of crypto adds a huge amount to kind of our economic activity. But equally, I don't think, you know, people should be prohibited from putting money into it. I think the problem is that, you know, you have a kind of situation where, because the price moves around so much, you have these opportunities for very large gains, but also very large losses. So, you know, the Bank of International Settlements has estimated that between 2015 and 2022, around 3/4 of people who bought crypto actually lost money. And you add into that all the kind of fraud activity and scam activity that you might get around it, and it is really risky. So, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's fine for people to put money into it if they kind of contextualize it in the right way, I think, which is, you know, probably as a bit of fun. Rather than as a way to get rich quick, or as a kind of way to build for their retirement. And I think that's what the kind of MPs that...
Here's a question for you. Here's a challenge. About 3 or 4 years ago, I had a guest on a programme to tell us what cryptocurrency was, and by the time he left, I had less idea than when I started. So, what actually is it? What are these cryptocurrencies and bit chains and all this sort of stuff?
Kryptonite.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, they are digital currencies. So they are things that can be traded on exchanges. They're created by a blockchain. So basically, you have these computers all across the globe, and they're racing to mine these bitcoins, not in a dissimilar way that, you know, actually people race to mine something like gold, for instance. And so all these computers kind of mine these bitcoins, and then people can trade them. But, you know, beyond that, I mean, you're kind of right to ask the question, because, as I said, you know, at the moment they don't really provide a huge amount of utility to us. So, you know, they're not used in daily transactions. Potentially less salubrious ones they are, but, you know, they don't really have any common currency. You can't get your wages or your bills paid in them, so they're not a huge amount of use. But to be honest with you, people have kind of made the same argument about gold. If you think about what happens with gold, you know, people dig it out of the ground in one place. They bring it up to the surface, someone buys that, and what do they do with it? Well, they bury it in a vault. So they just stick it back in the ground again, and it just sits there doing nothing in a vault. So, you know, the difference is that gold's been around for hundreds of years and we're used to it. And, you know, there's no surprise that Bitcoin is known as a digital gold.